así agarra.
Camina
Está esa mulata.
camina así,
Ay, mamita, camina, anda.
camina así,
Dale un poquito para acá.
camina así.
Hey, Common Sister, thank you so much for watching us today. We are happy to feature the third part in our series with Jesus Garber. He is all that and a bag of chips.
The record business, all these people, when the Herb Alperts, Jerry Moss, Berry Gordy, Chris Blackwell, Dick Griffey's, those guys that own their own companies, when they sold out, the new guys got hoodwinked and said, hey, look, let's just go to Apple. They're going to be the biggest distributor. We don't have to worry about returns.
Okay.
We don't have to worry about shipping. It's just send them a WAV file or MP3, and, you know, they'll just send us money. And the problem that happened, Lydia, was that we went from a dollar business to a fraction of a penny. And, I mean, I was working Tito Jackson's record last year, and he says, man, my royalty statements suck. They're nothing compared to how they used to be. So can you imagine you take not a dollar, but a penny and make it into 10 fractions?
Wow.
It's, you know, it takes a long time to even get one penny.
Right.
So the problem with the music business is that it's not leading, where Apple is leading, because Apple has a retail system. They actually have a place where brick and mortar, all this digital crap, people have to go into an Apple store. And if you need a repair, you need to make an appointment. But if you want to buy a new product, you come on in anytime.
Yes, it's all in the same place.
It's all set up perfectly for Apple, but not for the record business. And the fact is, the experience, you know, it's like, say for instance, when I was coming up, people had a tremendous respect for art. And one of the things that people in everybody's homes that they were proud of is their music collection. It was art. You want to hear Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie, The Supremes, Marvin Gaye, whoever, you pulled it out and you carefully put it on the turntable. Or if you had a CD, it was still great because you had liner notes. You know who wrote it, who arranged it, who was BMI, ASCAP, who's got the publishing. It was a story. It's like looking at a Renoir, Cezanne, Picasso, you know, Jack Pollock, whoever. That's art. And we're now disrespecting.
And the liner notes were usually written by somebody
famous,
influential.
Yes. Who knew the background.
Yes.
So it made that whole experience more complete. Here's something that I really analyzed for myself. I said, you know, when I was a kid, I still remember the first record I bought, and I bought it because I was a space junkie. The movie Forbidden Planet, and I liked Star Trek before Star Wars, not, you know. And there was a song on Motown that the beginning started with an oscillator sound. It went doot, 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 doot. And that song was a Supreme song, Reflections. And I said, oh, that's some space stuff. I got to buy it. And I bought, my first record was a Motown record. But the thing is, what we used to have was a encapsulated memory in our brain, which is the deepest part is the hippocampus. And we think about the fact that I remember that day. It was a sunny day. It was summer. I remember that moment when I bought it or when I went into the record shop, and there was a lot of people at Tower Records or Virgin Megastore or whatever, Strawberries, whatever big record chain you went to, or the local mom and pop. It was an experience, and it was part of your life.
I remember going to the record stores, like saving up my money to go to the record store and just tearing the cellophane off the record. I was like, oh my God, I got this. And then the same thing with the CD. And it is an experience, and some stores are bringing back vinyl. Like I noticed there's like a little resurgence of some vinyl coming in. There's something about holding. I like digital for some things, but there's something about holding the actual physical thing in your hand, reading, looking at the picture. It's just delightful. I don't know about you, but I used to write on my album covers, like write my name,
Oh,
make
yeah,
sure
yeah,
nobody
yeah.
could
Oh, yeah,
take
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
And do
Yeah.
it real big.
Make little notes, what were
Yes.
the hits.
Yes, yes.
But, it's just, and then there were some album tracks that never saw any kind of activity at radio, but you knew there was some
Yes.
hit songs
Yes.
on there,
Yes.
so,
Yes.
I mean, it's just, it's just, I think about like Al Green when he had the Call Me album. There was a song called Have You Been Making Out Okay? It was a masterpiece. Or Jesus is Waiting.
Yes.
I mean, it was like, oh my God, this is amazing, but it's a disservice to your customers' record business. It's a disservice because you've gone from a $40 billion a year global business, barely eking out a billion or $2 billion. So it's your fault. Lack of leadership, lack of vision. Take your business back and control it, because people, as they say, if you build it, they will come.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Can they take it back? Because now because of technology, artists now have more control than they did back in the day. They don't need a mega company to distribute them. They go on YouTube, they get on Spotify, they get on Pandora, and they start building, through social media, start building their own fan base. And where is the fit for the record business now? Because it's almost like, why are they needed?
I have a great answer for that.
Tell me.
Okay, first of all, even though that anyone that has equipment in their home can load up to Spotify, Rhapsody, and all these different aggregates, Apple Music, let me explain something to you guys. Those Spotify, Rhapsody, and all those people, they get about 500 submissions a day globally. So you think about, why do some people have a lot of streams and some people don't have? So the way those people at those streaming services have figured it out are, there's a lot of streets out here. If you take a city, they put you in neighborhoods where there's no traffic. You are on a nice little side street. You're in the system, but you're on a side street. So what you want to do is get on the big boulevards, Fifth Avenue, Avenue of the Stars, Sunset, Wilshire, where there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. The Hollywood Freeway, 405. How do you do that? Well, you have to hire someone that has the internal relationship with those people, that knows their language, that is politically savvy within how they work, that knows how to tell them what the status is of the record on the charts.
So would that
publicity.
be a promotion person?
That would be a internet marketing person.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
As
a specialist.
So that's an internet marketing specialist.
Correct.
What's the difference between that and a promotion person?
A promotion person, basically, their principal job is to interact with the radio stations that are reporters to Media Base, which is owned by iHeart in San Antonio, but their offices are here in Sherman Oaks, and by Billboard, which is BDS. And Billboard actually purchased Radio and Records. It's interesting because one of your questions is, how do you know a turntable hit from a real hit?
That's right.
Well, here's the thing. Back in the 70s, they had a lot of turntable hits. And what a turntable hit meant, like if we're here in Los Angeles, someone in Florida or Washington, D.C. or Philadelphia or Chicago or Cleveland, St. Louis, say, oh, Lydia, we added your record. And you go, oh, great. And then you ship records into that market to all the record shops. But it's not selling.
And they come back with babies.
Well, what happened was those guys basically what they called was paper ads. So actually along comes Nielsen BDS. BDS leased the service. It's a computer system that was used by the Defense Department to track nuclear submarines around the world. So basically in Kansas City, they had the main base, And what they did was they had monitoring stations in all these different markets. And what it did in actuality was you sent your song, and then it was encoded and it created a pattern. Just like with the submarines, even though they're nuclear and stealth, as they move, they create a sound pattern. So they know there's a Soviet one there and a German one there, and that one's ours. So, I mean, it's so sophisticated. So they did that to music. So the paper ads went away. So the guys that were lying, they had no recourse, because you could say, hey, Joe, you ain't playing my record. How you know? You're not showing up. And so MediaBase did something similar, but MediaBase actually employs people in all these different markets that are sitting, listening to stations, and are manually logging this in. And if you looked at MediaBase and BDS, they're pretty much equal.
Okay.
So anyway, BDS stands for Broadcast Data System, that's owned by Billboard, and MediaBase is basically Music Info Systems. And it's fascinating because they basically can tell you when the song is played, at what time, how many times. And so now if you want a number one song in Billboard or MediaBase, it's all based on how many times your record gets played that week. So the song in a format that gets the most actual detections, spins, is the number one song for the week.
Wow.
So it's really
It's a
fascinating.
whole different ball game.
Night and day. Part of the problem with radio today is that it's such a logistic nightmare that they took the shortcut. And the shortcut is they weighed so much of the programming on syndication.
Mm-hmm.
And so you think about, oh, that's easy. We'll put Tommy's show and Betty Sue's show on. And we don't have to worry about hiring people.
And not the they misunderstood the value of local news, local radio, local. That was your base, is the local.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But from a numbers point of view, I remember the late Carl Connors.
Who was he?
He was a program director at KMJQ in Houston and unfortunately passed away last year.
Oh.
Great programmer, great guy, had a long career. But he explained to me that they did a cost analysis of running a morning show syndication. And they said, you know, we can actually hire a team for $350,000 to $500,000 to be a really great morning show. Pay them well and get the numbers. But they want us to just run a syndication show. And when we did the comparison, just in mornings, because syndication takes all your units, which are your commercials, for those 4 hours, on an annual basis, they were losing $7 million a year just in the morning show. Mm. So you think about, why are all these companies in bankruptcy today? Because they're giving away their money, and instead of investing in local talent, as you said, and hiring people at a, you know, if you look at numbers, at the end of the day, why run a business if you're not going to make money?
Right.
But if you're going to run a business to just give away stuff because you're lazy and you're not developing talent and you're not developing local talent and you're not giving people an opportunity to work, but it's easy to have somebody on 300 stations, you're giving away your money. But, you know, there's people that went to business schools that say they're right.
So did you go to business school?
My university was Motown. And I'm a graduate from Motown.
Thank you so much for watching our episode today. And if you like what you saw, please share it with your friends, your neighbors, your enemies. Share it, share it, share it, share it, share it. Until next time, #keep common sense.